Hey everyone, so we're back. We're gonna go ahead and make some bathroom cleaning products. So they're gonna be a little more heavy duty. We're gonna do a toilet bowl balm and a shower spray, which would also be great to use on your toilets, etc. And again, remember from the last tutorial that you can use a the hydrogen peroxide spray and the vinegar spray back to back, but not mixed together, to get out anything that is, gross or germy or whatever. So if somebody in your house has been sick, whatever. And remember, like, if you have somebody sick in your house, because we're coming into, the fall sick season, if you have somebody sick in your house, just keep in mind that it is a really good idea to spray some hydrogen spray on a cloth and wipe down all of your light switches, like the toilet flusher, the doorknobs, things like that, because those are the places where we forget to wipe and we pick up the most germs. So, because everybody touches that stuff. So wipe it down and make sure you're washing your hands really well. So, and that is that. And don't worry about antibacterial stuff. That stuff's not really good for you anyways. It kills the good bacteria along with the bad. So don't worry about that. So we are going to go ahead and make our shower spray, and it's basically vinegar, dish soap, and tea tree or eucalyptus. I'm going to use both, and I like eucalyptus a lot in the bathroom, especially at this time of year. When we make the spray or the bath bombs, actually for the toilet, the toilet bombs, it's a similar recipe to how to make bath bombs, and you can make that with eucalyptus and then use them in your shower if you're feeling congested, and so that's nice to know. I just have regular Dawn dish soap. It's just what I happen to have in my house. I bought it a long time ago. I don't use it a lot, and I bought it a long time ago, and it's a giant bottle. I got it on sale, and so I'm just using it because if you're switching to zero waste products, let's say you're doing that, which I am. I'm in the process of doing that right now. Don't toss your stuff. Like, don't be wasteful. So make sure that you use it up before you throw it away. So some of these cleaning products are going to get used right away. Some of them, there are some cleaning products I will be tossing just because they're really bad for your health. Aerosol sprays, things like that, where you're aspirating a lot of fragrance, those can be a real problem. So you can donate them or you can just throw them out. But things like dish soap, I'm obviously going to switch to a different dish soap brand, and I might even take a hand at making some dish soap from Soap Nuts. But in the meantime, I'm going to use up what I already have, even though this is actually fragranced. And right now I'm really trying to get fragrance out of my house because these artificial fragrances are really bad for you. This is what happens if you start a blog. You find out all these crazy things that you didn't necessarily know before. It's like a bunny trail, You learn one thing and then that leads to learning something else, and then before you know it, you're like, I have to get everything with artificial fragrance out of my house immediately. And really you do. So that's the thing. So I'm going to use 1 cup of, I'm actually going to double this recipe because I want to, I'm going to go ahead and double this recipe because I want to actually use this when I do it. I'm going to actually use this right now. I am going to. I'm going to use this and leave it in my shower to spray down. And if you happen to have like an old plastic one, you can go ahead and actually use that, repurpose it, and use it in your shower. And the reason I say that is because having a glass bottle in your shower can be a little bit hazardous. So, and then it calls for 4 teaspoons, but I'm going to use 8 because I'm doubling my recipe of dish soap. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and put it right into my container. I'm not, again, this is not like I'm baking, so I don't need to be super precise. When you are, I keep saying that because if you don't bake, you may not know, but when you do bake, you have to actually be really careful to make sure that everything is very precisely measured. So I may or may not have put 1 extra in there, and if I did, that's okay, because it's not a cake, guys. So anyways, and now I will scrape out this last one. There we go. And remember, I am not actually going to stir it in here because I'm going to shake it in the jar. So that's that. And also, I'm going to go ahead and add some tea tree and eucalyptus. I am a big fan of eucalyptus, actually. I also like tea tree a lot. A lot of people don't. They find it too astringent, but I like it a lot. So in case you're wondering, I can't count and talk at the same time. I'm not sure if other people can do that. If you can do that, like count to 20 in your head and talk at the same time, then you go ahead and shoot me a message and let me know how you're managing to do that, because I definitely can't. So, and just as a heads up, this can be overwhelming scent-wise if you do it all in one day. My tea tree does not want to come out. So, yeah, it's a lot scent-wise. My husband actually just walked in the room and was like, holy smokes, like this is out of control. It is a whole lot. So I do want to make sure that I get the dish soap out of here. I'm going to go ahead and scrape it because it is kind of clinging to the sides a little bit. All right, so there we go. And whew, that has quite the odor. It's mixing with everything else. And put the lid on it and shake it up. It's gonna suds in there, so you definitely want to make sure you have like a little bit of a bigger bottle than you need, because otherwise you're gonna get overwhelming bubbles inside your bottle. So that is my shower spray. This is also going to be great for you can spray down your sink and use it in there. You can spray down your toilet and use it there. So this is really going to be, you can use it anywhere in your bathroom and it'll be super handy. So at any rate, so that is that. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our toilet bowl bombs. And I have like, these are my silicone molds. I think it's funny that they're shaped like fish. I've used them for like making ice and stuff, but now I'm just gonna go ahead and use them for making toilet bombs because I think it's funny, and I think it also would be a funny mold for making bath bombs, by the way, but that's just me. And here we go. We have a glass bowl. So you want to use a glass or a metal bowl because you don't want to mix, and this is the same thing for your measuring. It's better to use glass or metal because they're not porous. So when you wash them, all of the product will come out. You don't have to worry about any residual in there. And that's really nice and really important because you don't necessarily want to be using, you know, like plastic bowls and potentially have them be corroded, which they wouldn't be by what I'm about to do, but you just really never know, you know. So it's just better to always use glass or stainless steel. So this is actually a modified bath bomb recipe. So it is 2-to-1 baking soda to citric acid. So citric acid sounds scarier than it is, y'all. It's actually used for preserving. It's like a vitamin C derivative. So it's used for preserving food. And as you know, the baking soda is a great deodorizer. So I'm sure that you have seen the commercials with the baking soda in the refrigerator. You probably keep a box in there too. And I don't know, but I'm weird about eating my baking soda out of my fridge. So this is kind of a good way to use it. So, and then citric acid, I got this on Amazon, so, but you can also find it sometimes in the grocery store. So this is probably the thing I would say I had to, maybe work out finding the most. So that is it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use making sure that doesn't fall, my spatula, because I'm going to put dish soap in this too. So I'm going to stir this up, the dry ingredients. Typically when you are mixing wet and dry ingredients, you want to stir your dry ingredients together first, and oftentimes your wet ingredients together first. It's pretty typical. But in this case, I'm just going to stir this up, and then I'm going to add 10 to 15 drops of essential oil, whatever essential oil I want. And so I'm going to go ahead and, since I have my shower spray that's eucalyptus and tea tree, I'm going to make my bombs the same. So I'm going to use like 7 of each. How's that sound? And then we'll have like 14 drops. I'm going to go ahead and drop them in there randomly, not all in one spot, because I don't want them to clump together. Oh, this tea tree. Okay. And then my eucalyptus. And again, remember, part of the goal here is to be disinfecting, of course. But if you have cats, you might want to avoid that tea tree oil. And you could do more research and find out in what way it's toxic to cats. It could be sometimes aspirating it, meaning inhaling it, the smell of it can be toxic. Sometimes it's only eating it, so this is a good thing to kind of keep an eye on. And in general, if your essential oils are not food grade essential oils, you really shouldn't be eating them. So I know that's become kind of a trend for people, but it is something that you should be more careful of. So in case you're wondering, other essential oil blends, and this actually in and of itself could be used as a balm. So you could put this into your toilet bowl to clean it, but you could also grab one of these and throw it in your shower, on your shower floor, and let it melt there while you're showering. And this tea tree eucalyptus mix would make you feel cleared right up. So it's not a bad idea because it is multi-purpose and it's not going to hurt you. The biggest thing is probably the dish soap. So if you wanted to use them for both purposes and you wanted to put it, say, in a bathtub, then you might want to use like Castile soap. I like the Dr. Bronner's Castile baby soap. That is actually a really good idea. So that helps, that helps to make it more multi-purpose, because I don't know, I just don't care for bathing in dish soap, even though it's only a small amount. I'm not interested in bathing in dish soap. So it's kind of funny because my dish soap is green, and so it's going to make my bombs green, which is handy. You could, like, if you wanted to, say you were actually making these with the intention of them being bath bombs, you could actually put like blue food coloring in, or whatever, and make them, fun, like little blue fish, or you could put a different color food coloring, whatever floats your boat, really. And all I'm doing here is adding a little bit at a time and kind of smushing it around. So because you want it to start to get kind of putty-like, so a little more clay-like. So I'm probably assuming I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to have to use my fingers to do this. And at that point, will be probably towards the end. This is just a half tablespoon, but you can see it's already drastically changing the texture here. So at any rate, I thought that it was funny. I'm all about doing things that are multi-purpose, because the more multi-purpose things you do, the less you actually have to create. It kind of saves you some time, and you don't have to buy as many supplies. So, but it doesn't freak me out at all, and maybe it does you, that you could use a bath bomb to clean your toilet. I think that's kind of funny. It makes a lot of sense, and I think that that's probably A pretty funny thing to think about though. But the bubbling action, I'm sure, helps to get it clean. And then using essential oils that are disinfecting is also going to help. So that's kind of a nice feature. I can tell you right now, because I have met him before, that if I want my husband to use this in the shower, I'm going to have to make a whole new batch, because even if it's the exact same recipe, it will freak him out too much that it was that it was used also as toilet bombs. He's just funny that way. So this is kind of like the texture of that like magic sand stuff that kids have now. That's what it looks like. So you don't want it to be too moist, because you do want it to dry out. So, all right. So now that I have it all mixed up, and you can kind of want to show you here that it basically, see, it will stick together. See that? And that's what you want. You want it to be a little crumbly so you can get it in there, but you want it to stick together once you press it in. So I'm going to just press it into my molds. And then tomorrow, because this has to sit for 12 to 24 hours. Now, I'm going to tell you that when I flip these out, I'm 99% going to bet you that these tails are going to come off. So I do have round ones too. So that's a good thing to know, is to have like round or square ones. You could even do this if you needed to, like in a mini muffin tray or a regular muffin tray. So that would work as well. And I'm just pushing this in here. It's going to be easier to do it this way. Yeah, that's easier. I know. So, okay. And then you want to push them in so that they are, so that they're all the way pressed down, and packed pretty tightly, because you don't want a bunch of air pockets in there. So you just go ahead and press them in. And then when you're done with that, you let it sit for 12 to 24 hours. Then flip it out somewhere where it will stay dry. Okay, so don't, like, if you are putting them in your kitchen or something, maybe not. Maybe flip them out somewhere else where they won't get messed with, and they will stay nice and dry. The concept, you want to keep them nice and dry, or else they will melt. So if they come in contact with moisture, they're going to melt. So you definitely want to keep them dry. And once you've got them nice and dry, once you've got them out, leave them to sit there for a couple of days. You can see they're expanding. Leave them to sit there for a couple of days, and they let them dry entirely. Once they have dried entirely, then you put them in a jar with a nice tight fitting lid. If you are a Ziploc bag person, you can put them in a Ziploc bag, and then you can go ahead and use them as needed. Again, the whole goal is to keep them dry. So I'm going to leave them like that, even though, see, they're kind of overlapping a little. And then when I flip them out, they'll have a little edge on them, which I'm fine with. If you want them nice and neat, you can always pull the excess from around the mold. So it's okay. Mine are expanding a little bit. That is actually a normal chemical reaction. And if yours are doing that, don't worry. Like, don't freak out. You didn't ruin anything. There's not anything, scary going on. They're not going to blow up. That does happen sometimes. So that's part of why they don't want to fit in the mold, though, is because they're expanding. So, and you do want them securely in there. So at any rate, as I just said, I'm going to leave it. This is it for the bathroom. So now you have a nice multi-purpose shower cleaner that you can use on your sink or wherever you want. And you have your toilet bombs. And when I actually found this tutorial, it said something really interesting about dropping these into the tank of your toilet. And that is a great idea, especially if you have hard water, you live with a well. And also if you're smelling like a musty smell in your bathroom, a lot of times it's actually coming from the tank. And what I mean is not the bowl, okay, but on the back of your toilet. So if you lift that lid off back there and just drop one of these in or two of these in, that's perfect. So, and you want your molds to be about a half tablespoon each, just so you know. So you don't want giant molds, like more the size. If you use if you use a muffin tin, you're not gonna fill those molds all the way. So that's the secret. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. The next one is going to be dryer sachets and a bonus product. So I will talk to you soon. Bye.